So we're about to get into a story today. It comes from out of Maryland. If you're watching from Baltimore, Columbia, Howard County, in fact, the whole DMV, DC, Virginia. If you're watching right now from those areas, you've probably heard of this story before. But let me know below in the comments. Drop DMV, Maryland, DC. I definitely want to hear from all of you. Also, take a second to make sure that you are subscribed to this channel. Click the notification bell for all updates. And if you're new, include new subscriber in your comment below, and I'm going to try my best to respond to all of you. Saturday, December 11th, 2021, in Federal Hills, South Baltimore, Maryland, 44-year-old JB, a certified registered nurse anesthetist, CRNA for short, decided that day was the day. He's worked as an anesthesia professional for years, mentoring others as well as teaching and training healthcare professionals. He took his job very seriously, often networking with other men and women in the field. He was considered a high-value man, earning over $250,000 to $300,000 per year. He lived in an affluent county and had a network of other high-value men as well. So on that one day in December, he decided to go over to his ex-girlfriend's house. Her name, Tara, 41 years old. She also worked as a CRNA and she was pregnant with this baby. JB went inside of her home and took her out, got rid of her, so she and the baby deleted. Then he got in his car, drove 30 minutes away to Columbia, Howard County. That's when he went live on social media, thanking the people who knew about his situation, because you see, he filed for custody of his kids on July 16th, 2018. And after spending thousands of dollars on attorney fees, court fees, and even having to go through his ex-wife falsely telling the court that he inappropriately touched them, which he denied. And he believed that his ex-wife lied on him in order to win their custody battle. He blamed that custody battle on his frustration. Also, while he was on live, he admitted to taking his ex-girlfriend Tara out and said that she knew all about the custody situation, and Tara will use that information against him. Because whenever they got into an argument, Tara would tell him that he will never see his unborn baby, and she would do the same thing to him that his ex-wife did. JB told women to stop using their kids to play with their father's emotions. Another thing here, he said he was outside of his ex-wife's house. 42-year-old Wendy Natalie. She was also a CRNA. Over 3,600 documents filed during their nearly 4-year battle, with the latest filing just 1 week before. At that moment, JB told everybody that he was about to go ahead and delete her and then do the same thing to himself. The conversation with the folks on live was interrupted when Wendy opened the door. He said, "Oh, here's my ex-wife right here. Today is the day." As the video gained nationwide attention, Mark Zuckerberg's crew and authorities, they tapped into the stream, but by the time they arrived to Wendy Natalie's residence, it was too late. Wendy Natalie DOA, JB DOA, and their 2 kids were found safe inside of his BMW X3 parked in the complex, and luckily they did not witness the incident. So you have Tara, Wendy, JB, all medical professionals, a close-knit professional community at that, all of them earning at least $200,000 per year, leaving many wondering, why would a high-value professional man like JB do this? After all of this happened, a woman came out to share information about JB's character. Her name is Nurse Nicole. She's a very popular nurse in Atlanta, an ICU RN. She also has her own business on the side teaching other nurses. In 2015, she met JB on social media when she was running a group for nurses. She expressed interest in becoming a CRNA. JB, well, he was already a CRNA, and she has multiple messages where she said he was giving her advice. She said they were never involved romantically, and all their correspondences happened to be about nursing. They had a disconnect in communication or a falling out when he gave her advice. She didn't like it. JB told her to humble herself because he believed that her personality was going to offend the people she needed to impress to get into CRNA school. He specifically told her that professional folks in charge of those departments would not like how she carried herself. He also advised her to stop posting pictures online in bikinis. Nurse Nicole was shocked and offended, and she said the reason was because he didn't really know her and believed that he had no business telling her not to wear bathing suits or how to behave. She said she had a big personality and she was not going to change herself to fit into anybody's program. That interaction discouraged her from pursuing CRNA school. She's still doing really well in her career, although she decided not to become a CRNA. But Nurse Nicole, she called that interaction with JB weird and creepy. He never tried to make a pass at her or anything, but she believed that advice was just too much. She believed that he was trying to be controlling with his advice. She went on to say that JB had a problem with black women. She was promoting a Black Love social media group where the black men and black women, they could form love connections. She was also advised by JB to stop talking about black love because nobody cared. Now, when it comes to the advice that JB gave Nicole, I do believe that he was trying to be truthful with her about expectations and standards in the industry and trying to give her better direction when dealing with the gatekeepers and the institutions, because they could judge her in a negative way if they saw her in an inappropriate way, especially while she's trying to get into CRNA school. A while ago, I covered a story here where a PhD student was kicked out of her program for quoting Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion lyrics on social media. So I do believe that was sound advice that he gave Nicole. That happens all the time. You know, it was also possible that she wasn't used to getting advice or clear direction from men, and it was hard for her to listen and take his advice. Although he was a man who was successful in completing the program that she was interested in getting into. But you know, Nicole said she had just had surgery on her body, so she wanted to show off her results and be herself. Nurse Nicole also recently spoke on how hard their jobs are, especially over the last 2 years due to C-19. Not only was JB responsible for dealing with anesthesia with patients going through surgery, but he was also responsible for putting patients on breathing machines and ventilators. As for JB's wife, Wendy, he was upset with her for several reasons. She did not want to lose the kids to him, so she made up a story that he inappropriately touched them in order to win. And we know this has happened before. There was an episode on the Y'all Fix My Life a couple of years ago where a mother did the same thing. She told this lie to her 3 daughters, and the girls believed the story for over 30 years. That was until the father took a lie detector test on the show, proved his innocence. That is when the mother decided to confess that she made up the story the whole time because she didn't want to lose custody of the girls. So back to JB. His ex-wife also sold a property that they had during their marriage, and she was supposed to split the money with him, but she would not do it. She tried to ruin his relationship with his kids, ruin his reputation amongst his colleagues, and he even spent thousands and thousands of dollars in attorney fees. And get this, when he tried to move on with his life, his new girlfriend, she saw all of the drama that he was going through. And what did she do when they got into an argument? She used that information against him. She would throw it all in his face and tell him that she was going to do the same thing that his ex-wife did. By the way, the baby wasn't even born yet, but she was telling him that he was never going to see the baby. So you have some people, they say, why didn't he talk to anybody? Well, he did. He opened up to his close friends about all of this. And then as far as men in therapy, unfortunately, a lot of therapists are women. They have feminist mindsets. A lot of them hate men. They have underlying contempt for men. They're even guilty of some of the same behavior, dragging men through family court. So a lot of the female therapists, they're identical to the women that he was having a breakdown with. I will say this, I don't condone what he did at all. And I do believe that JB is wrong, because now you have 2 little people without a mother or father. But I want to dig in deeper here. In his last message, JB told women to stop playing games with men, the visitation games, the divorce court games. They're literally able to do whatever they want to do, and they have a whole system to back them up. So even if you can't work out your relationship, I would say to the women, stop using your kids against the man. For both parents, learn how to be respectful to each other. All the things these 2 women did to this man, well, it took the breath out of him. And after that, it's not much left. I'll also say this. His ex-wife, Wendy, she has an Afro-Caribbean background. But do you see how the new woman, who is non-black, she was preparing to play the same game, which shows that you really have to be careful with all of these women. It doesn't matter their race or what kind of job they have. They could still play these hood rat games with you. And to the ladies, stop playing these games. Because while you're trying so hard to beat him, it is possible that all of you will lose. Shout out to Terry 2 times, who said keep up the good work on the channel. I love it. Dallas Cowboys 225 Dallas. Mr. Tone and Dark Power, I appreciate all of you for your support. You can support this channel as well. The links are below for PayPal and Cash App. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to like and share.